Donovan, when I met you draft night, you showed so much confidence that the things you're doing right now, it's no surprising to you.
Actually, it is kind of a surprise to me, to be honest. Being in this spot, being in the playoffs was one of my first things that I wanted to do when I joined the team, and just be a part of this atmosphere. But individually, man, this has been surreal. I think after the season's over, I'll be able to look back and say, man, just last year, I used to post every game day at Louisville, and the guy that I would post screaming would be Russ. So it's kind of crazy how things changed 365 days later, but now there's no more of that. There's no more, oh my God, I'm playing against Russell Westbrook. Like now, all right, I gotta guard him. I gotta be able to lock him up and find a way to beat him. And I think that's been my mindset continuously. It's just, all right, this is not your favorite player no more. This is the enemy, the opponent.
How important is it for you and Rubio to shoot the ball well early in the ball game to make sure you get off to a fast start again?
I think Rookie was getting open shots, and some shots just weren't falling. And that's a team. We stopped pushing the ball in transition. We slowed down. We weren't running the lane. If I had the ball, Ricky and Joe weren't running. Or if Ricky had the ball, I wasn't running and Joe wasn't running down the floor. So I think that'll open up a lot of lanes and opportunities for us to get open looks.
Late in the first half, your foot gets stepped on, you wouldn't get it checked out, everything comes back normal. You have to play game two, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt in my mind. Probably that night I was a little concerned, about maybe I won't be able to. It was in a lot of pain, but I started getting a lot more treatment than I ever have in my entire life, doing things I never even knew were related to my foot. And but I definitely have to play. Definitely not going to sit out for the playoffs.
Well, we got to fight over that screen, though.
So Tony Allen, Rick Hamill, Ryan Hollins, and David Griffin here. And Tony, I want to start with you. By the way, the conversation never stops here on the desk. Great job with Dennis Scott there and Spida. How would you go about defending Spida Mitchell? We were watching the highlights, and you were kind of commenting on them and about how veteran and poised he is. How would you go about defending him?
Yeah, he surprised me as a rookie, man. A lot of things he's, doing well now. You probably wouldn't expect him to do probably in his first year, but he's poised, he's attacking, and it kind of looked like he don't think nobody can stay in front of him as well with his attack. But myself, I would have to go over each screen, make it hard for him to catch. And those down screens, he come off and get physical early and lock and trail. But this guy here has got the whole package.
Griff, I would love to tap into your talent evaluation skills going back. Former GM of the Cavs and going back to the Suns as well. When was Donovan Mitchell first on your radar?
Well, I think everybody had him on their radar pretty early in the process. I think what's interesting about Donovan is he's one of very few kids who actually had to lose weight in college. He had to get leaner. He had to get more explosive because he was naturally thick. And I think what happened for him was Coach Pitino was probably exactly the right coach to put him in the frame of mind to do all the kinds of things he had to do. So he entered the league as a worker in addition to being incredibly athletically gifted. And again, very early on in the process, people identified Donovan as somebody that could really play. I think people really got caught up in what position does he play? Is he a point guard? Is he a two guard? Rather than looking at him in much the same way that maybe you look at Oladipo now, he's just a ball dominant play creator and let him do what he does. It's a blast to get to be here right now, hearing Tony watch film of Donovan and comment on the things he's doing, because the polish that he brings to this really spoke to all of us. But to hear it speak to someone to speak to somebody like Tony, who's actually going to defend him, that's a meaningful thing.
And Donovan, I mean, he was a draft riser as the thing went through the combine all the way up to the draft and ended up in the lottery. Now, let's talk about Paul George, Ryan. What did he do? What did Billy Donovan do to get him in such a position to be so successful in Game 1?
Well, this is his talent. This is nothing that Billy Donovan taught. This is just Paul George being special. That's why everybody was so excited about this trade going into the West. So let's take a look at what he's been able to do. Watch his defense right here. He fights through the screen, gets off. Now watch him come back. He's playing two guys right now in help position. He's hiding. Now he plays the interceptor. Watch him jump this spot because Rubio is a great passer. Couldn't see him. Unselfish basketball, getting the team going. Huge play. Secondly, you're going to see him be patient. Royce O'Neal, for my former teammate, he's going to fight through screens. Paul George playing at his pace, getting the paint. He's 6'8", finishes over the Eiffel Tower. Big time move. You don't see that from too many players. Lastly here, you see him just being patient. Royce O'Neal taking away his airspace. Great defense. But you know what, Paul George? I'm 6'8", you're 6'4", get into a spot, rising and shooting. When he's playing like that, with that type of confidence, I mean, this is really, really scary for OKC. And we got to throw him in with the Houstons, with the Golden States. And we've got to think twice about this thing, man. If he's playing at that type of level, fellas.
Yeah, he was incredible in game one. And T.A., what does your scouting report? I mean, you've guarded Paul George a million times, man. What did your scouting report look like on PG?
Well, you couldn't give him too many options. Not a steady diet of everything. He's a guy who can pull up off the pick and roll. Like you just saw him come off the catch and shoot. And when he goes ISO, he's dangerous. My best bet for the guarding him is just be physical again. We know he's talented, and just try to limit his catches.
I mean, look at this. Step back threes. And then how about this one? Royce O'Neal.
Yeah, that's tough because that's great defense from Royce. And what Tony would do, he would take away his airspace. And you see Royce climbing into him, and he just stepping back and pulling up over him. So I'm 6'8", you're 6'4". At the end of the day, what more can I do?
All right, so let's take a break here. James Harden and the Rockets going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight in Game 2. And James Harden was magnificent in Game 1, certainly bringing the heat. We will break it down when we return.